Hi Pisces, and welcome to your energy forecast reading for April 2017. April shows us the start of a new season. Spring in the northern hemisphere, autumn in the southern. I hope it's a good season for you all. It shows us a start of a new celestial year and a new celestial 9-year cycle. So new beginnings all the way round. Prior to coming online, I pulled out a Feng Shui fortune telling stick for yourselves and just shake them till one drops out. It gets very loud, so I like to do that offline. The stick that came out for you was the number 6. I do believe, let me just have a quick look, that I know another sign got it. Sagittarius got the same one, so we may be looking at some connection with Sagittarius. You may have Sagittarius in your own chart somewhere. This video is for Pisces sun, moon and rising, and with that said, we'll get on and do your reading. The stick we got was number 6. The 6th day may be important to you. The 6th house on the zodiac chart is the house ruled by Virgo. So a Virgo may be in the mist in April. It rules health and health service, general well-being, domestic pets, and relations in work. These may be areas that you're focused in around this time. The 6 also refers back to the Lovers in the major arcana of tarot. Now the Lovers speaks more of a choice being made, an emotional choice having to be made, and it's a choice intuitively rather than intellectually. It talks of inspiration, hunches, second sight, abstract thought, true partnerships, and peace, harmony and balance. In numerology, it says the same sort of thing. It's the most harmonious of the numbers, single-digit numbers. It's a loving and caring nature. It's about sacrificing, healing, protecting and teaching others. So any of these may give an insight, spark a little bit of inspiration for yourself. With that said, we'll go on to your reading. The reading I'm going to do today is my own spread that I call Messages to Myself. Excuse me. I will be using my Mythic Tarot. These are my original 1980s tarot deck. I've used them for over 30 years. As you can see, they're well and truly battered, but they are my pride and joy. I am trying to upload a video to Facebook at the minute, so please bear with me with the beeping that's going on in the background. Okay, so the first 3 cards that we're going to pull, this reading is a 12-card reading. The first 3 cards we're going to pull signify the spirit. What our higher self, our subconscious, our collective energy, our divine energy, our spirit guides, whatever you believe in as our connection to the universal. 3 messages which our spirit wants us to focus on or acknowledge, pat us on the back for, or warn us about. And I have 3 cards for Pisces for the month of April 2017. second line will contain 3 cards, 3 messages for the physical. This is the body line. So what is actually happening in the physical in the month of April? What we need to know about our physical body, or what we physically need to do in the month of April. The third line gives us insight and 3 messages regarding the heart. What messages do our heart want us to acknowledge in the month of April? And the final 3 messages are from our soul. What does our soul want us to appreciate, or one jumper, so that will go in, appreciate or be aware of in the month of April? Messages from our soul. That was definitely an outer. And just one more card. At the bottom of the deck we have the Magician. Now, the Magician talks all about having all the tools that we require to do what we need to do in the forthcoming future. To tackle the tasks we've got to do, we have got everything within our power to do it. This guy, the Magician, yes, he makes magic happen. What we want to see in our future can be there. As he stands, we have one hand pointing up to the heavens and his other hand pointing down to this ground. And it's the depiction of what we think, and it's more about what we think. What we think we can manifest and actually bring into our being in our life's environment. The ultimate bringing heaven to earth. Very, very good card, very positive card. A great overall energy for the month of April. Anything that we're starting, new projects, new careers, new romances, you know, all are favoured well when the Magician, and you use the tools of the Magician correctly. Excuse me 1 minute, Pisces. I'm just going to close the blinds because I'm getting a lot of interference from sunlight. Okay, so on our first line of inquiry from Spirit, we have the 8 of Pentacles. Now, oh, Yin, move, thank you. Now, the 8 of Pentacles refers to not you. Come on, lady. Yin, nobody wants to see you, darling. Oh, baby, I know, but you do this all the time. Come on, move yourself. Come on, move yourself. Yin. Oh. I did actually attempt to do this reading a couple of minutes ago, and my wonderful feline friend decided to come and sit right in the middle of the reading. So rather than redraw all the cards and go through it all again, I hadn't turned any cards, so I've left them as they were drawn and just decided to start again. Before coming on camera, I pull a Feng Shui fortune telling stick. We shake these gently till one jumps out. They have a little snippet of information on for you. The number that we received was the number 6. I believe Sagittarius also got the number 6. The snippet of information is you will have a rival that you are not aware of. So keep that in mind throughout the month of April. The 6th day may be significant for you. When we look on the zodiac wheel, the 6th house is ruled by Virgo. So a Virgo may be in the mist in April. It covers sectors of health and service, general well-being or health, domestic pets. Ironically, my domestic pet decided to lay all over the cards, and relations in work. So we could be career focused this month. It could be that the rival is within a work sector. 6 in the major arcana brings us back to the Lovers. And the Lovers actually talks of having to make an emotional choice. But you have to make it intuitively rather than intellectually. It talks of inspiration, of hunches, second sight, abstract thought. It does also talk of true partnerships and harmony and balance. Maybe we're looking at balancing something in our lives out in April, or we have already attained a good sense of balance in where we're going. In numerology, it reads very much the same. We talk of it being caring, healing, sacrificing, protecting, and also teaching others. So them aspects may be within your path over the next few months. With all that said, we'll go on now to read your cards. The spread I'm doing today is my own spread, which I call Messages to Myself. And it talks of, we have the 12 cards, and it talks of mind, body, heart and soul. The 3 top cards on the top line, our messages are spirit, our higher self, your spirit guides, your connection to the universe, whatever you believe in, messages from that realm of our being. The second line refers to the physical, the body, what we physically need to do, what is physically happening around us in the month of April. The third line refers to our heart, and it's 3 messages from our heart that we have to take notice of or pat ourselves on the back for, appreciate. And the 4th line is 3 messages from our soul and what the soul wants us to focus on or appreciate. At the bottom of the deck, after shuffling, we got the Magician. Now, the Magician is a fantastic card. He talks about you're at a point in your life where you have all the tools you need to do what you need to do, what you want to do. On this card, we see he's stood with one hand pointing to the ground and one hand pointing up to the sky. This is to signify that our thoughts we can manifest and bring into our reality. We've got all the tools to do it. We're quite capable of getting there as long as we use these tools right. He is a creator. If you have that spark of intuition to do something new now, rest assured you can go ahead and do this, and you are quite capable of achieving what you want to achieve. With that said, we'll go to the messages from our spirit. The first card we got from spirit was the 8 of Pentacles. Now, the 8 of Pentacles is a material card. Pentacles talk about finances, work. It can be relationships, anything that is tangible and actually comes into our environment. The 8 of Pentacles speaks about We know how much hard work we've put in. We've already stacked up 8, and think on every cycle of these are in groups of 10. So we've already stacked up 8 of our pentacles. There's only 2 more to go to make a completion in the cycle of pentacles. And this card speaks to being practical, being hardworking, pursuing them goals, pursuing them dreams, churning out what you need to do. It may be monotonous, but taking time and patience and practice, getting each one perfect and making slow and steady progress towards that 10. When we've reached the 8, we know 10's not far away, and we know just a bit more patience, we will get there. This is not a time to quit. The second card that comes out actually is the water card, which we are water signs, so it could refer to any of us. It could also refer to a Scorpio or Cancer in your midst. Now the Hangman, he's been put in this situation. He's been tied up by his ankle. It's not very comfortable, but he's quite happy. He's not uncomfortable. And the whole meaning behind this card is we've been put in suspense. Somebody else may be holding us back and making us wait for something. But there's a reason for that, because when we're sat in this position of non-movement, of feeling trapped and bound, we find insight. We can look at the problem in a totally different light and come out of this phase with new insight, looking at something in a different perspective, and being able to move forward then with the information that we've gained while we've took the time out and been stagnant. And the third one is the King of Cups. Now the King of Cups can be male or female. It could be another water sign that Spirit wants you to be aware of. And usually the King of Cups I see as Cancer, because we do have the little crab down here. But the King of Cups talks about he's mastered emotions. He's gone through all the trials and tribulations of letting emotions overrule him and being ruled by his heart. You know, he can master these emotions now. He has got control of them, and they don't rule him as they used to when he was just a young knight. He's kind, generous, kind in words, helpful, and I believe in the position of a message from Spirit. It's saying we are well established in our suit at the minute to move forward from a good position. Messages for the physical. We have the Chariot. The Chariot is a major arcana, and it does refer back to Cancer, the star sign of Cancer. So again, there may be a Cancerian around you in the month of April. If there is, I would say he's a helpful guy. He's not a hindrance, he's a helpful guy. But the Chariot speaks of here we are, and we're having to drive these 2 horses forward. We have one black, we have one white. The black signifies the yin energy within us. The white signifies the yang energy. Whenever I see this card, I think it's a true sign that we have mastered, if we balance the yin and yang equally within ourselves, we can drive the chariot forward and move forward in our journey. So I always see this card as a good signifier that physically, where we are now, we are in a good alignment for moving forward. We are well balanced. This card does also talk about travel and transport, and it can quite easily depict new transport or a different way of transport that may come around in April. So maybe a few Pisceans out there are looking to buy a new car in this month. Second card we have is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is an earlier completion in our desires. We've gone through a lot of turbulent times, a lot of emotional situations, and it's now time we're moving over into these calmer waters, finding peace and harmony, which will come with the 10 of Wands. So a time of moving on, a time of travelling by sea, by air, physically moving away, or moving away from emotional situations or situations that don't serve us anymore. That, along with the Chariot, I would say in the physical and what we have got to do, may even signify a move. We may be thinking of moving, or the idea of moving is now coming up around this time. The next card for the physical is the Eight of Wands, which again also talks about moving. In the majority of the decks, this is depicted as 8 wands, like 8 arrows across the card, and it's referred to as the arrows of love. So it can be inkling that we're moving to something that's a lot more loving situation, but it can also talk about lots of conversation, lots of internet interactions. It can talk of things moving swiftly in and out of your life, but for the better. We're going a better place with this. So physically, in the month of April, for Pisces, there is a lot of actual movement. We may be travelling a lot. We may be travelling. We may need a new car because we're travelling that much, with a new passion, creative adventure we're doing, or a new job. First message from the heart, we have strength. Now the strength card talks of a Leo, so there could be a Leo in your midst around the month of April. But the strength card talks about, we've tried brute force and ignorance and it just wouldn't work. The lion just got stronger and stronger and more savage. Strength talks about using your kindness, your gentleness, your powers of persuasion to calm this lion and tame the lion. The lion signifies our desires. The lion signifies our passions. We are in the element of fire at the minute. We are in Aries, which is the rebel, the young buck that's just been given his sword and can go out and conquer the world. And in the physical, it looks like very much we are doing that. The heart says not all things can be won by brute force and ignorance. Some things, sometimes to win the challenge, we have to be kind and considerate. if we are facing something that is an enormous challenge, it's here to signify, and your heart say, you have got the strength to get over this. Be kind and patient with yourself. You have got the strength to get through whatever is put in your path. The next card is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups, pages usually talk about children, so we may have a water sign child, Pisces, Scorpio or Cancer around us. But the Page of Cups also talks about bringing a message of love. So there could be a message of love. You could hear of a new love. It could be the birth of a child. It could be a pregnancy. It could be the start of a new relationship. At the side of strength, maybe it's just saying keep faith. That love can be around. This is paired with the last quote from the heart, which is the devil. Now the devil represents a Capricorn, very earthly, very bound, very materialistic. So this could be a warning that the heart says we're being too materialistic about things. Maybe we're being too materialistic about a love offer. It also speaks of addictions, alcohol, drugs, sexual addictions, addictive personalities, being addicted to another person, codependent relationships. So is there something in our midst in April that puts us in a position where we're risking being bound to something, or bound to our thoughts about a situation, or bound emotions to a situation? The final line, messages from our soul, we have the Page of Pentacles. Now the Page of Pentacles, out of all the pages, I would say is referring to a child. So maybe the soul is saying we need to acknowledge our inner child. The Page of Pentacles is again referring to the material plane, the tangible things we've got around us. Again, it is a messenger. So maybe there is a message of a chance of increasing our finances, a new start, a new job, something like that. It could also refer to an earth sign in the mist again, which we had here with Capricorn, but this could be Capricorn, Taurus or Virgo. The next card we have, that is the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is probably one of my favourite cards in the whole deck. There's not many swords that have a good meaning to them, to be honest, and this is one of them. The Six of Swords talks about movement again. A lot of emotional turmoil we've been through. These swords represent our thoughts, things that matter to us, and is used as intuition, is used good communication skills, and he's decided what matters to him are these 6 items. He's putting them in his boat, he's leaving this stormy water behind him, and he's going to a new place for a new start. It can be travel over water again. It can be travel long distance. With that in the soul, and all the movement cards we have in the physical, there could very, very easily be thinking of moving home, thinking of relocating for work, or thinking of moving to have a fresh start somewhere else. It could also be moving from one mindset to another over these situations. And I giggled to myself because I'd just turned the last card as I said that, which is the Nine of Swords. Now, the Nine of Swords is all about letting our head rule us. Letting our letting our fear, letting our ego rule us. Negative self-talk, looking at a situation and in our own mind making it 10 times bigger than what it is. So the soul is saying, we are our own worst enemy here. It is us that are putting restrictions on ourselves. It is us in our own mind playing mind games with ourselves. We have to pull all these swords out. Stop worrying unnecessarily. Excuse the cat, thank you. Stop worrying ourselves unnecessarily and move on and get into a clear-headed space. When I look at this card, I always think, our mind is no more than an organ like the rest of our body. And we know how we can let our heart rule us over certain things. We can let our mind. But when we let the mind run along on its own path, it runs along with ego. It runs along with our fears. It will try and negative talk us and keep us in a place where we don't want to be. It will try and stop us from growing or moving. It doesn't like change. You have to physically put down these swords. Stop negative thinking. Stop negative talking to yourself and others. And just bring yourself back to a place where intuition, decisions made from the heart, the soul, are not the mind. So we'll go and have a look at these three together, see if I can get anything else. With these readings, I will not go over and try and get every scenario that will come out of them, because I would be here forever. I will just throw out what I have got, and hopefully it'll spark that little bit of intuition in yourself. If there's anything there that you do want to follow up on, I'll gladly look at. So our spirit is saying, work hard. Take time to look at things from a different perspective. Work hard. Take time to look at things from a different perspective and stay within your element. Be who you are. Don't be afraid to be in touch with them emotions, but don't let them emotions overrun you. In the physical, we talk about moving on to brighter and better things, leaving heartache and bad times behind. Again, the same with the arrows of love, and right in the middle, the Chariot, a sense of being balanced, well balanced between the feminine and masculine energies within us, and being able to drive forward in new adventures. With all three together, a change of mind, a change of perspective, a change of residence, a change of job. From the heart, we all have the strength. Your heart says you will have the strength to believe in yourself, to offer the best of yourself, or to receive offers of an emotional kind or offers of love. And we have the strength to overcome any addictions that may hold us back or feeling bound to somebody. And the soul says, move away, take what you need, what you value, for a new beginning, a promised new beginning, without anxiety and pain of your own causing. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 major arcanas, which are significant changes. They're not things we decide to change. They are situations that are put there divinely, if you'd like to say, or support divinely. The Hanged Man takes time to sit back, reevaluate something, see it from a different perspective, to then move on in a well-balanced nature, knowing you have the strength to overcome anything that may be a challenge or anything you find binding. We have 2 pentacles on the table, and they're a promise of something coming and working hard, maintaining ourselves in the work environment. We have 2 cups. There may be some emotional situations we come across this month, but being the King of Cups at the minute, you're quite in control of your emotions. You can touch them, you can share them, you can be emotionally available, emotionally open, but they just don't overrule you. And then we have 2 Wands cards, which talk of our passions and desires, but also can talk of our careers. Now, both of these are about movement, so maybe there is a change in career, or we're finding a passion for something new that we want to embark on. We did also have the Magician as our major overall energy, another major arcana. So a lot of divine intervention this month for Pisces. We have 2 sword cards that actually balance themselves out very nicely. The 9 of Swords, which is our self-punishments, and the 6 of Swords, which is talking of walking away from that kind of behaviour. So I think all in all, a fantastic read for your Pisces. I found I'm not pulling many clarifiers out on these readings, because once I start, I could go on forever. So we'll leave it at that. I hope you do get something from it, and if you do want any more information, or you want to look into something in a little bit more detail, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Have a great April. Bye.